Hey, we'll wait for the audience to build here a little bit. And do me a favor when you come in, because I'm using headphones, just let me know whether or not you could hear me. Just say, DML, we can hear you. Or give me the thumbs up. The thumbs up you just do anyway. Just say, yeah, DML, we can hear you. Just so this way I know that this thing is working. I'll wait. Hey, Dennis, nice to see you. All right, you can see me, but can you hear me? I'll wait for a comment to say, yes, we could hear you. We can hear you. Thank you, Lynette. All right, so a couple things we'll go over here today. I'm not going to take a very long walk-in talk. Actually, I'm not going to walk at all, if you don't mind. I'm going to sit here on the beach. So let's find a good spot where people aren't going to bother me, and or I'm not going to bother them. All right, I think this works. All right, so I'll show you some stuff. I'll tell you some things. Oh, my goodness. Getting old. All right, so anyway, we got to wait for 1,000 people. We're almost there. We'll get there. Lord knows Facebook doesn't like to give us the 1,000 people too quickly anymore. Yes, the things that happen when you're gone for a week, they add up. All right, so anyway, let me answer a couple of questions which I have received via email. Number one, we are not available on the app this morning. We are only available right here on Facebook Direct Live, although we will take the recording of this and put it on both the app and the website on DennisMichaelLynch.com. Why DML? All right, well, let me tell you why. First and foremost is because we have, this week, Harlan did anyway, invested in a whole new line of communication tools and products and softwares, you name it. So this way, we can simulcast to Facebook and to YouTube and to Twitter and to Instagram and to all these different places and to our app and to our website all at once without having to be subjected to Facebook's shortcomings, Facebook's dislikings, Facebook's whatever. Unfortunately, I've had it. I'm going to share it with you too. I've so had it with Facebook. I've come to the end of my rope. So we have bought all this stuff, and now it's time to connect it. So it's one of those things, our train never really stops. We always try to keep it going 24/7, and the walk and talks every day, and et cetera, so forth. But changing tires on a moving car is real hard to do. So we have come to the conclusion that the only way to get this right is to stop doing the app feeds for live walk and talks for at least a week until I get back, until we get it all settled out. And we'll just do Facebook Lives, then we'll download it, and then we'll put it to the app and to the website, la-di-da-di-da-di. So that's why you can't get it on the app. Number two, people saying, DML, the app's not working. I'm not getting my alerts anymore. It's not true. It is working, and it's working perfectly fine. The reason why you're not getting your alerts is because it's very simple. Yours truly made a decision. All the people who work with me and for me, they have access to pretty much everything. There's one thing I didn't give them access to, and that is my Twitter and my alert system. And the reason being is because I don't want anybody to inadvertently, mistakenly, abuse the alert system that gives you the text alerts. I don't want you to be getting 20 of them in a day. What are you going to do? You're going to turn me off. So I dictate when it is that we send out an alert or not. So you could rest on one thing. Is this DML sending out an alert? It's always me. I'm the only one who will do it. If there's alerts you don't like, blame me. If there's alerts you love, give me the credit. That said, if I'm in a courtroom or I'm traveling in a place that has no cellular service, like in the middle of a desert, if I'm down at the border, I can't send out Twitter alerts, and that's why you didn't get the alerts for the last week. So there you go. I just sent out one this morning from my hotel room, and that's why you got it. All right, now we knocked that out. Now that we got those two lines of business out, let me give you a recap of this week and some of the events that I've done and some of the very interesting things that have gone past my days, and who I'm about to meet tonight. Maybe meet tonight. I'll start with that first. I was supposed to be back in New York already today. My plans were to get back to New York on Friday night. But I wound up getting a phone call from a friend who lives here in San Diego where I am, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff here in San Diego where I'm sitting right now. It's absolutely beautiful, and it ties into a story I'm going to tell you about national security. But I got a phone call from somebody and said, hey, any chance you could stay in San Diego for a few more days? And I said, not really, I got to get back. And they said, well, what about if I told you that you can meet the President of the United States? I said, I could change my schedule. So here's the deal. There is a big reception tonight in San Diego on what is known as the USS Midway. It is a very large naval ship which has been retired for quite some time. And as far as I know, if I got this right, the oldest living member of the military, he's 105 years old. It's his birthday tonight. And so I am invited as a VIP to this big, huge extravaganza for this admiral who's 105 years old. There's going to be all generals there, la-di-da-di-da-di, and it's going to be spectacular as far as I'm concerned and from what's been delivered to me as the agenda for this evening. And that President Trump is flying in to give a speech and to say hello and to work the room and do what presidents do on those sort of events. And because I am in the VIP on the VIP list, odds are very high I will wind up getting my 2 minutes with the president. So I'll have to use it very, very effectively. So we'll see how that works. But that's why I'm still here. So I will not get back to New York until Sunday, to be honest. And so that's why I have been sort of out of touch. Now, that's what's going on there today. What am I doing in San Diego to begin with? Some of you may have watched the video I started making the other night from down here. I was showing you how it is that the Navy sort of surveils this area. And I had somebody approaching me. And when that somebody approached me, I just turned it off. I stopped it abruptly. And people say, oh, I can't find the video anymore. You'll be able to find the video. Most of it will wind up being in They Come to America 4. My good buddy Mark on the other end wound up capturing the video, so we've got it, all right? But ultimately, what I did was I came down here to San Diego after I testified in the Bundy trial, which I want to talk about that a little bit too. I came down here to film for They Come to America 4. And They Come to America 4, if you've watched 1, 2, and 3, you know that I always use the cost of. So it's They Come to America, the cost of illegal immigration. They Come to America, the cost of amnesty. They Come to America, the cost of Obama's legacy. This is going to be They Come to America, the cost of refugees. At the same time is that we're covering the refugees in this film, I would be remiss if I didn't cover the one part of the border that I've never covered before, and that's the Southern California part. So I decided that, you know what, we're going to open the movie with showing how it is that, OTMs and everybody else coming through the southern border and the drug problem that we have here that President Trump is trying to clamp down on. And I wanted to give you a little taste of something that I had never given you a taste before. And as always, the southern border never lets me down. And so anyhow, we got some really good stuff here, and I'm going to show you how it is that a lot of these runners, just taking advantage of a system that really can't find its buttocks with both hands. What I have noticed, first of all, if you've never been to San Diego before, let me explain something to you. First of all, it has to be, and I've been to most of America, with the exception of like the Dakotas and up around that area. I'll get there one day, God willing. But I had never been to San Diego before. And the weather here, if the weather was like this every single day, which I am told that it is, and right now I'd say it's about 70 degrees. The fact that I have a sweatshirt on is only because I'm underneath are my pajamas, to be honest. So the weather here is just unbelievable. The scenery here is unbelievable. And we're in a place called Coronado. Now, Coronado is just a bridge ride over. I mean, you've got San Diego. San Diego would be behind me. This is the Del Coronado Hotel. But behind this, this is like a little island, and then you cross over and it's San Diego. San Diego, if you guys remember watching the movie Top Gun with Tom Cruise, there was a naval facility called Miramar. Well, all of San Diego and most of Coronado is nothing more than just a big, huge Navy presence. I mean, it's humongous. You ever want to feel great about America. You come to Coronado and you go, just sit here on the beach, and I will show you at some point. I'll flip around. I'm scared to do it now because I'm afraid that I'll lose signal or something or another if I start screwing around with the phone. But there are naval ships here. There are fighter jets always flying overhead. There are non-stop helicopters. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't heard one yet today. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe the Navy is sleeping. But the Navy SEALs train here. I mean, just non-stop. It's not like one boat. It's not like one plane. It's non-stop. Now, in addition to that, you've also got the Border Patrol. And so what I watch here, and I'm going up and down, and I'm looking, and I'm seeing how it is that with all these assets, and I mean we've got an incredible amount of assets, why it is that we cannot stop the influx of illegal drugs, of illegal aliens, and OTMs, also known as other than Mexicans, coming in from Mexico. I mean, I just cannot understand it. I went down there, and you can just see the scouts. I mean, I've been doing this long enough to where I know how scouts operate. And the reason being is because one of the things that I have done with every movie, I was explaining this to my daughter who's with me. I said, you know, when I do these movies, what I do is I spend a couple of days down at the places where I'm going to go first, and I check out everything. I monitor it. I look how people are, where people go, where people don't go, and who appears to be the scouts, how the Border Patrol works, how they don't work, when they don't work. And God forbid I run into a problem. What is my escape route? What road don't go down because I don't want to get stuck in a dead end. I mean, I cover everything. So this way, it is the sort of experience where I could give you the best sort of filming. I could give you the best kind of information, and at the same time, I don't run into trouble. For example, you may remember Marine Taramisi. I can never say his name the right way. The Marine who took the wrong road down here and wound up landing himself into Mexico and in jail for, I think it was almost a year, because he had guns in his truck, and the Mexican police took him in. I mean, you can see, I was down there. I checked very quickly. Now, when I went down to the end, I was careful not to make a wrong turn because I remember that story. Tamarisi is his name. I remember Tamarisi making the wrong turn. So, I mean, I go and I'm slowly scouting to make sure I don't even come close to the wrong turn. That said, I'm watching scouts from everywhere. They're on the beaches. They're in the parks. They're sitting on the roads. I mean, it is so clear what is going on that a movement of drugs or a movement of people is going to be facilitated, and we just cannot stop it. There is literally, and I caught it on camera. There is a place right down at the end of the border. You can actually let me even step back. For those of you who haven't been here, San Diego, I don't know, it's probably about 20 miles off the border. So as you start going closer to the border, what happens is at the end of where California and Mexico actually touch where the water is, where the ocean is, there is a fence that runs about, I don't know, 30 feet, 40 feet into the water. So, I mean, if you wanted to come around, all you have to do is just swim around the fence, and then you're in America. Now, there are two there's one park, and there's like a wildlife refuge that it's Mexico, the fence, the park, and then a refuge. And there's a whole bunch of just horse ranches sprinkled in between. And this place has unbelievable cover. And this is where we saw a lot of, what we felt were scouts. How do you know the DML? How do you know they're scouts? I don't know. I look at a guy who's sitting on a beach in long dungarees and a long sleeve shirt. He's got absolutely nobody with him. He's doing nothing. He's just sitting there and continuously looking this way, continuously looking that way, once in a while looking onto his cell phone. I mean, could he just be a guy who's just sitting there enjoying the beach by himself? Yeah, but you know what? There's a problem. It's not a place where people go on that beach. It's not a place where people just go. There was no place where he would have come from. I mean, he would have had to walk long distances. And this is the same sort of thing I saw in Texas. And then at a certain point you look, they just get up and they go. And it's always the same thing. All the people sort of disperse at the same time. So had I been doing this only one time, then yeah, you could question whether or not I think this person is a scout. I've been doing this for 8 years. I think I know who the scouts are. And in talking to the ICE agents and the Border Patrol guys they kind of let me to understand what to look for, and so I have. And listen, at the end of the day, they're not going to hurt you. They're not going to hurt you for as long as you don't get in their way. If you get in their way, they're going to hurt you. If you don't get in their way, just going to go about your business. So there's one area where where a helicopter literally just does this 360-degree circle, puts itself down on the ground, picks itself back up, does a 360-degree circle, puts itself back on the ground. It does this the whole time, just a 360, just keeps on going around. Now, how big is the 360? It's the equivalent of them doing a tour around an NFL football stadium. That's how big the 360 is. And they're just clearly just checking out this area. Periodically, another helicopter will come in. And yet, we cannot stop this stuff from coming through. Why and how? I just cannot understand. I mean, you would think that where I am sitting right now is the most safe place in the world. At any given time, and again, I got it on video yesterday, I mean, I could just go, I could whistle like for dogs, woo, whoop, and 3 F-16s would be flying over my head. I mean, there's the assets out here are insane. And how it is that we're not being able to protect our borders, just, I don't understand it. I just do not understand it. I wish I had an answer for you. Yeah, you might be able to say there's an answer in there somewhere. You know, maybe somebody's on the take, or there's no will to stop it, or whatever it may be. But there has to be. You know, it's amazing. You can have a conversation anywhere, people, and you can have it right by me. Sorry. So you can blame it on whatever it is that you want. I blame it on a lack of will, on a high level, you know, and having that lack of will is what really, at the end of the day, affects your life and my life, just because there are a couple of people at the top that have a lack of will. And it's very disturbing to me, you know. Every time I make a They Come to America, I always vow that I'm never going to make another one. And I didn't think I was going to make a They Come to America 4. And boy, would I like President Trump to make it so that's why there has to be no They Come to America 5. But anyhow, we shall see. Maybe that's what I'll say to him tonight. Maybe if I get the chance to meet him tonight, I will. These people, I mean, I don't know. What am I, a magnet for kids? Right? If I can't have them with my wife, they want to bring them to me. Love kids, but I'm trying to have a walk and talk, buddy. I moved away from you the first time for a reason. Jesus. All right, there we go. Now you get to see the same hotel from a different perspective. Yeah, I don't know. These kids are like a magnet to DML. I don't know. I must smell like candy or something. So maybe popcorn. I got popcorn in my teeth. Yeah. All right, so anyhow. So that was that. Now I want to tell you about this thing with the Bundy trial. You know, I haven't had the opportunity yet to speak to my lawyer, so I have to be very, very cautious about what I say here, because one thing I could guarantee you, almost, is that one of the guys from the FBI will definitely be watching. Yes. So I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. So I will keep it very, very dry, if you will. I decided what it is that the name of the 8:30 show that we're about to launch in the next week or two, by the way. This Bundy trial and trip here has really set me back in the sense that everything that we had almost ready to accomplish has now been pushed back. I got to get back to New York. I got to get everything. It's like you got to start the engines up again. I'm thinking probably within the next week or two. I know Harlan's made some nice advancements, but the young lad has not gotten it to the point of where I would say, yeah, we're going to do a show. So we're going to wait a little bit. I mean, I've done this before, obviously. So probably be another week or two. Every 8:30, every night, Monday to Friday. 1 half-hour show, and then after we air it, it will be there for you forever and ever and ever in case you miss it. Now, it's going to be an amazing show. We're going to make it the best half hour that TV news gives you. That said, I'm naming it The Truth with Dennis Michael Lynch. And the reason why I'm naming it The Truth with Dennis Michael Lynch is because of all the different... my last show on Newsmax, if you remember, was called Unfiltered. And, you know, I think the truth is a bigger statement than unfiltered. Because right now we live in a country where the media is hated. And I always talk to you about the emails and the messages you send me. And they always have themes to them. But if there is one theme that continuously overshadows all other themes, it's that people just do not believe anybody anymore. They do not know what or who to believe. And there are people you like. I know there are people you like. But even the people you like, do they report to you truthfully or do they report to you biasedly? And yeah, there's bias on the left, but keep in mind, there's also bias on the right. Right? And although I never shy away from sharing with you my conservative point of view, I always say, no matter what the cost, I always tell you that my first allegiance is to America. I don't have an allegiance to a president or a person in Congress. I don't have an allegiance to anything other than my country. Seriously. Now you may say, I disagree with you, Dennis. No. When I stand up and I say I pledge allegiance, I don't say I pledge allegiance to my Trump. I say I pledge allegiance to my flag. And you can take out Trump and put in Pence. You could take out Pence and put in Cruz. You could take out Cruz and put in Hillary. No matter who's in that office, my allegiance is going to be to America. And so in order for America to truly be great again, in order for America to have informed citizens, they have to have access to the truth. Now, does that make my opinions truthful? Well, yeah, sure, my opinion is the truth because, there's no such thing as a fake opinion. But we give you stories and we give you information based on the truth, first and foremost. And then I will give my opinion about that if I have to. If you agree with my opinion, fantastic. If you disagree with my opinion, I still hope that you have the wherewithal to acknowledge the truth that has been given you. And if the truth hurts the president, well, then the truth hurts the president. I didn't create the story. The story was created somewhere. The story was created by itself. I am going to give the truth. If the truth works in the president's favor, well, hallelujah, because I voted for him. I'm not going to deny that. The reason I tell you that is because I want you to come back into the Bundy trial. There would be some who would hope that my story would be one way, and there would be others that would hope that my story would be another way. But my story is not based on what those people want. My story is based on what happened. And my story is based on what the truth is. And I can tell you this much. I can guarantee you this much. I'm able to read body language fairly well. You probably can too. I looked at the body language of the jurors who were sitting to my right. I was right next to them. I watched the reaction of what it is that they did, and how their bodies shifted when they saw certain videos. I saw how they shifted and how they looked at me when I said some other things. And I can tell you right now unequivocally, they knew that I was telling the truth. They knew I was telling the truth. And so if the truth comes out, then the jury, I'm sure, will find a way to make sure that the truth prevails. How's that for a way of saying something without saying anything? Oh, that's like a bumper sticker. All right, last thing I want to talk about, because I can't intelligently talk about anything else right now that's going on because I have been so disconnected from most of the news, is I want to talk about one thing that I have been able to sort of tie into, and this is this Paul Ryan, this whole Obamacare 2.0. All right? Now, you know your buddy DML never steers you wrong, and I usually get this stuff right. I have said what you've pretty much known for a long time. Paul Ryan wants to see President Trump fail. He wants to see him fail. There is absolutely zero doubt in my mind that he doesn't want President Trump to fail. He wants him to fail for many different reasons. Paul Ryan, in my opinion, is a snake oil salesman. And as a snake oil salesman, his job is to sell you snake oil. He'll smile. He'll come up with certain phrases. He'll avoid certain things. He'll push forward other things. He is a snake oil salesman who understands Washington, D.C. as well as anybody, including Senator McCain, right? He is a younger Senator McCain without the military experience. That's really what it comes down to. The one thing about Obamacare, and again, I haven't had a chance to dive deep into this, so if I say something that isn't completely accurate, I reserve my right to say I don't have all the information maybe that other people do, or that I usually would have. But here's what I do think I know at this point. And I'm speaking to you right now as a person who has to buy his own health insurance. When Obamacare was first introduced, Obama and all his cronies, they made sure that things were tied into those health care policies that were totally unnecessary for most people. And so a guy like me who's completely sane, I got to make sure that I have mental health coverage in my policy. My wife, who due to the doctors doing their little deal, she can't have babies anymore, but yet she still has to get insurance to cover for maternity leave. What else is there? I mean, I've never done a drug in my life. I literally have never even taken a toke of weed. Not one. I can't tell you what it tastes like. I can only tell you what it smells like. I have not touched a drug, and yet I've got to have substance abuse coverage. It makes absolutely no sense. And so, as far as I remember, there were 12 categories that the government said if your program does not cover these 12 things, we're not going to put it out to the exchanges for them to be able to to bid on, to put in for people to get. And so therefore, these premiums were out of this world. They were out of this world. And then the deductibles, out of this world. I mean, it was insanity. And so when I turn around or somebody else turns around and says, listen, I'm of pretty good health, I just want to have some kind of insurance that covers me for, catastrophe. Give me the catastrophic policy, And then what they come back and say is, oh no, you can only get that if you're less than 30 years old. This is why this thing, for the most part, forget about all the other different stuff on how it gets paid for, right? This is why this thing was so heavy. It was so top heavy. And people are like, wait, I don't want this. Why do I need to grab something I don't want? And if I don't want it, I got to be taxed. Okay. At the base of what Paul Ryan is trying to present is a healthcare program that still takes those things and keeps them in there. It keeps them in there. And so this is why this is Obama 2.0, Obamacare 2.0. The other thing is that illegal aliens will be able to get this stuff. From what I have read, and I haven't done my usual, I have to check it with 3 different sources, but from what I have read so far, in one place that usually gives the truth. Let me see, these F-14s, if they are, I'll point it towards the sky. I'll check out some of these planes coming by. Hold on, put it on a pause. Let's see. I don't know if they're S-16s. Hold on, we'll change. Let's see if you could see them. I don't know. I can't see with the glare. Oh, they're not F-16s. You know what they are? They're old model planes. I can't see. I'm trying. Oh, wait, if I go like that, maybe I can see. Where are they? DML, you're failing us. I know. I don't know if you can see them or not. Well, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. At least you can see the rocks. Yeah. Cool old planes. I thought they were fighter jets. So anyway, go back to the stuff. So this stuff is still in there. And in addition to that, the illegals will be able to get insurance because there is nothing in this new Obamacare 2.0 that prevents illegals from using fraudulent licenses or fraudulent ID. There are no prerequisites in place, from what I understand in this new bill, that says you have to prove that you're a legal citizen. And so, President Trump's got the world against him. This one I will give him. This one, how much I bitch about his stupid tweets, but that could come. I'm not giving it an excuse, but it could come from just a level of frustration. Yeah, there's ego tied in there, but it just could be also from a level of frustration because the guy goes into office and he says, I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna change America back. I'm gonna fundamentally undo the fundamental transformation. I'm gonna make sure that we get back to the rule of law. I'm gonna make America great again. He's all pumped up. He's got an opportunity to do something amazing. And yeah, there's a little bit of ego, but yeah, there's the accomplishment factor. Who doesn't like to accomplish something? Who doesn't want to be known as being the guy who got it done? That's normal. But now he goes in there and he's starting to realize how well this works, and that his power is only so great, and that he needs the cooperation of other people in order to be able to make it so his agenda could go through. And what does he get? He gets a Congress that moves as slow as a turtle. And then when they come up with something, you got Paul Ryan trying to push this crap onto the American people. And then Trump is going to sit there and he's going to say, don't worry, we're still working on this. We're going to keep on negotiating. We're going to keep on negotiating. He's going to keep on fighting back and forth and back and forth. And the only thing that's happening in that is that time keeps on filling. Yep. And so what that does, and Ryan knows this, is the more you delay, the less that gets accomplished. And although Trump is going to try to push, Ryan and his cronies are going to delay. And all that does is just say, oh, really? What has this guy even got done in his first 50 days? Well, you know what? He's got 2 great job reports so far to show. He's got a stock market that just seems to just keep on wanting to go higher and higher and higher and higher. He had a very, very, very strong meeting with Israel after Israel feeling like for 8 years that they had no more friend in the USA. He has, from what I have been told, reignited the spirit of the Border Patrol, who now feels like they have somebody who supports them and they could go out and do their job. He has started deporting people. He has started to cut back on regulations. I'm sure there's a lot of other little things. He put forward his new travel ban, although I disagree with how that travel ban is outlined. I think we should be adding more countries, not less. But, who am I? But either way, that's out there, although that's going to start to be challenged. The guy's making progress. There's no doubt he's making progress. But they're trying to drag him through the mire, and they're trying to slow things down. And I go back to Paul Ryan. The least amount of things that get accomplished by President Trump, odds are great that he wouldn't get reelected. And then you get somebody like maybe a Senator Warren, who maybe could get elected in the next go-round, and she'll be weak. And people will be thirsty to pick up where Trump tried to bring things, and he'll try to run. Or somebody else within his establishment circle will try to run. He'll have close ties, and he'll still remain one of the most powerful people in the country, which means he's one of the most powerful people in the world. That's what Paul Ryan wants. You got to just look over the course of time on how Paul Ryan has treated Donald Trump, the candidate, Donald Trump, the nominee, and Donald Trump, the president. And you can just see, if you know how to look in for the cracks, you could see the cracks. And this guy is full of the stuff that comes out of your buttocks. That's really what it comes down to. So when I look at this Obamacare 2.0, I'm very disappointed, because as a person who has to pay out of pocket, I just sit here and say, wait a second. The way to lower these prices for us is to make it so this way it's a menu. Let me sort of pick out what I want, what I don't want, what I need and what I don't need. Let me check the box that my wife can no longer have babies. Let me check the box that says that I've never been hospitalized for mental health. Let me check the box that says that you can put me to anything you want to, but I've never tried out any sort of drug whatsoever. There's no dependency problems here. Same thing with my wife. Let me check those boxes so this way I don't have to pay for those things, and thus my costs will go down. Why won't you let me do that? It's sort of like when you go to a restaurant and they're saying to you, listen, no matter what you order, you have to, the check is going to include every appetizer, every entree, and every single last thing that is on the dessert menu. That's what your bill is going to be. That's what you have to pay for. Even if you don't eat the stuff, it's on the menu, so you have to pay for it. That's what this is. That's what it is. They are shoving the entire menu into your bill and telling you, yeah, I know that you're only going to wind up ordering the mashed potatoes and the steak, and maybe you'll get the shrimp cocktail. Yeah, your dinner bill should be $120, but it's not. It's going to be $1,020. That is what this is. Oh, and by the way, yeah, that illegal alien over there, yeah, he has the same access that you do. I know his name is Joe Mexico, but his license says it's Joe America, and so we're going to let him buy it. And yeah, when he starts using the insurance, yeah, you're going to have to pay for that. This is where we are. This is what it is. And so anyhow, I think it's really bad, 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 bad. The other thing about healthcare that I just want to say before I jump off here is, you know, I don't know why. I've never heard President Trump talk about this before. I didn't hear him talk about it as a candidate. I didn't hear him talk about it as a nominee. I never hear anybody talk about it. The only other person I've ever heard talk about this, other than myself, and because I was drawing up my own plan when I was exploring, I knew healthcare was a big thing. So I was creating a plan based on prevention. See, our healthcare system right now is based on treatment. Right? So we're always chasing the problems. We're always chasing the disease. We're always chasing the illness, you know? And therefore, it costs so much money to try to, you know, just to narrow it down. Hey, what's wrong with this person? And, you know, you got 16 tests later, and it's finally like, oh, okay, we figured out. You have heart disease because you are obese. Okay. Well, I've always been of the mindset that if we do the prevention, if we put money into preventing these diseases, if we put money into preventing these illnesses, that we would all spend less money because less people would get sick. And the less people the more people are healthy, the less they go to the doctor, the less they go to the hospital, the less the strain on these medical systems. So that is one thing I wanted to put a lot of money into, is prevention stuff. You know, I would rather give you a tax deduction for showing the fact that you have a monthly bill to a gym, you know, simple stuff like that's keeping your costs down and keeping you healthier. You know, I also wanted to invest money in clinics because so many people use the hospital for reasons that they don't need to use the hospital. If we had more clinics where the cost of treating somebody is, you know, you could be treated in a sort of, you know, walk-in sort of style, and yet your bill would be maybe, you know, $60 instead of going to a hospital where it would wind up becoming $600 to $2,000. So these are things that I wanted to see in there, and that's why I hope that President Trump will sort of push for this kind of stuff, but who knows. Anyway, I'm going to give you a little look around here before I dump off because my daughter's waiting for me. We're actually going to go for, I vowed to start exercising again today because I'm so heavy. Anyway, this is the Hotel Coronado. If you could ever stay here, do. But you'll probably have to sell one of your children in order to afford it. It was the only place I was able to get a room. And we're checking out today to go to a much lower priced place because something opened up. But over here, we got these beautiful mountains in the background. And down the ways, all the way at the end of this beach, in fact, I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't see the camera because of the sun. But at the end, that's the big, huge naval base. So cool. And then over my shoulder here, if you could go all the way down at the very, 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 very tip, that would be Mexico. And, of course, these are the people on the beach. Cool rock stuff over here. And I'm going to show you, I'll try to get you over to this place here. You can see the ship. It's sort of moved since I started the walk and talk, so I don't know if you could see it or not. But if you look right over my shoulder, I can't see, but there is a big ship, naval ship out there over the rocks, which is pretty cool. And then, let me see, what else can I show you? There's an amazing sandcastle over here, but I don't know. How much do you really need to see? All right, and then there's, of course, people, Americans. I'll tell you what, I haven't been listening to your comments here in a while. I haven't been reading them, so I'll read a couple before I take off, and then we'll do it. Morning, DML. Welcome to my state. I find people in Mexico and OTM use our emergency rooms. Yes, I would love to see proof of prevention with insurance too. Good. See, you like my plans. Maybe one day you'll vote for me. Did you find the ghost? Love the elevator and operator. I don't know what the ghost is. My Medicare gives me a free gym membership. Oh, good. On the healthcare front, if you are married and you are lower middle class, stuff comes in so fast. Have a great day, DML. That's true about Hotel Del. It's beautiful, but as local. All right, I agree, Dennis, in preventive medicine. See, people agree with me. I'm a healthcare provider, and the problem is people don't comply with the preventiveness. Yeah, probably right. Here I am talking about preventiveness, and yesterday I had a glazed donut. All right, enjoy your father-daughter time. Listen, father-daughter time. It's funny. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. If you didn't see it last night, my daughter was screaming at me that I posted it. I was sitting there, and Facebook Facebook is screwing with our account once again. The reach, you measure it by reach, and our reach is like back down to like the days when I first started, and so that impacts our traffic. It impacts how many people are alerted about the walk and talks, and so we knew a person who knew a person who knew a person who get us somewhere, beyond the back end of the computer at Facebook. Actually making phone calls. We reached out. I mean, I don't understand how these people stay in business. The level of rudeness, the level of just, I don't give a damn. I mean, I literally told these people that I could possibly spend with them $250,000 this year trying to advertise and promote our new live broadcast network. And that what we have seen after an enormous amount of research is that our walk and talk our live broadcasts are the most popular, most watched news broadcasts on a daily basis. So yeah, if Trump does a rally, I'm not going to pull in the numbers he pulls in. But if you look at any of these other people who do every single day, and you could name any single one of them, and they're all good people, I'm sure, and I'm sure they're entertaining. But by and large, we always draw more people than anybody else. And I explained that if we have put so much money into our live broadcast abilities, we will put in $250,000 to push the live. Facebook is paying other people to do lives. We said we'll pay them. Let us pay you. That's what we want to do. But we need help. We need to be assigned a rep, because I am the only guy with a significant crowd with any name recognition who doesn't have a sales rep at Facebook. Yeah, I know people in this business, which I talk to on a weekly, monthly basis, that will point blank say, oh yeah, I had a problem with that, I called my rep. You got a rep? I don't have a rep. When I have a problem, I have to hit the submit button. I give an excuse of what's going on, and I get back a computer replied, well, thank you for contacting Facebook. We will look into this, but because of the high volume, I'm like, wait a second. I'm spending all this money. And listen, it wasn't all in the come. We spend an incredible, last month, in the last 30 days, I think I've spent $7,500 with Facebook. $7,500. And yet, they're continuing. We see it. We have the numbers in the back. They continue to lower our reach, so we get less amount of people. And I just can't. And we got this person through our contact, and we still got treated like crap. So anyway, I don't remember why I was telling that story. Kind of lost my train of thought. It happens. Do they have that in Obamacare 2.0? Something for loss of train of thoughts? But anyhow, I was telling you for some reason. Why was I telling you that? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But anyway, they're definitely suppressing what we're trying to do here. And, I just said to them, what, I'm not giving you $250,000. I'll give it to somebody else. I'll call up Twitter. I'll call up YouTube. It's not the same. We'll just put it into our own app. Yes, we have this new website launching in the next 2 weeks where you could do all this commenting and stuff like that. Just come on over to our side. The hell with Facebook. I mean, I've tried so hard. I've tried to be the nice guy. I've tried to be the loud guy. My goodness, I need a haircut. Oh, that's what I was talking about. My daughter. So anyway, I posted last night to Facebook this video my daughter had published. Actually, I should say she recorded. I published it. My daughter is a filmmaker herself. She is a photographer. She's won awards. She's fantastic. I mean, hands down, fantastic. And so I like to take her on these journeys with me. And she had off from school, and she said, "Yeah, I'll come, Dad." So she came with me. We do these things. We get along like butter and bread, the two of us. And so last time we were in California, she came with me. It turned out to be, it was also Bundy related. I had to interview Bundy from Oregon. So we flew into San Francisco, and we took a car ride from San Francisco up to Oregon. And while we went through the Redwood Forest, I was like, "Hey man, put on the tunes." It was one of the greatest places you could ever check out. And as we're doing it, Stairway to Heaven from Led Zeppelin. And she's buying her stairway to heaven. So we're singing this as it goes. And It was one of the coolest things ever. She recorded on a phone. I didn't even know she did it. And we're driving through. I'm driving through probably faster than I should. And we're singing Stairway to Heaven. And so anyway, that also happens to be the ringtone on my cell phone. So when my phone goes off, Stairway to Heaven plays. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a long story short. We were driving to the Grand Canyon on the way to, we came into Arizona. We were going to the Bungee Trail, and we went, stopped off at the Grand Canyon. And as we're getting close to the Grand Canyon, I say, hey, put the music on. And would you believe it? Stairway to Heaven comes on. So we start singing this. We're singing to it. And I said, grab the phone. We should be recording this. So she starts recording us going to Stairway to Heaven. And it's just great. I mean, I have a lot of fun. I don't know if you want to watch it or not, but I mean, I love it. I've watched it 50,000 times because it just shows how much fun I have with my daughter. And in doing that, I put it up on YouTube last night, and then I tried to put it on our website. Well, would you know, it wasn't up for 20 seconds, and YouTube takes it down, saying that it was a copyright. And I'm like, oh my God, the song's playing in the back off the stereo. I'm not making any money off it. I didn't have any ads attached or anything. I'm just simply singing a song that is on the radio. And so they took it down. So what we did is we took it and put it up on a different player that doesn't have the restrictions YouTube does. And so it's up there. So if you get a chance, you check it out. DML and his daughter sing Stairway to Heaven. It's pretty good. Just sing along with me. All right, until that, I haven't sang in a while. All right, I'm going to go now. I have to go buy a jacket to go meet the President of the United States, assuming he comes. And I don't know. I think my jacket size is going to be a lot bigger than it usually is. It's terrible. I didn't bring a jacket with me. No, I didn't testify with a jacket. Testified in a collared shirt with a sweatshirt. Yep. Anyway. All right, guys and gals. Till tomorrow, which I will not be with you tomorrow. Tomorrow I am traveling home. Maybe Harlan will do it. Till next time, God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. And God bless Led Zeppelin. See you later. Last week. So there you go. I just sent out one this morning from my hotel room, and that's why you got it. All right, now we knocked that out. Now that we got those two lines of business out, let me give you a recap of this week and some of the events that I've done and some of the very interesting things that have gone past my days and who I'm about to meet tonight. Maybe meet tonight. I'll start with that first. I was supposed to be back in New York already today. My plans were to get back to New York on Friday night. But I wound up getting a phone call from a friend who lives here in San Diego where I am. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff here in San Diego where I'm sitting right now. It's absolutely beautiful, and it ties into a story I'm going to tell you about national security. But I got a phone call from somebody and said, hey, any chance you could stay in San Diego for a few more days? And I said, not really, I got to get back. And they said, well, what about if I told you that you can meet the President of the United States? I said, I could change my schedule. So here's the deal. There is a big reception tonight in San Diego on what is known as the USS Midway. It is a very large naval ship which has been retired for quite some time. And as far as I know, if I got this right, the oldest living member of the military. He's 105 years. Hey, we'll wait for the audience to build here a little bit. And do me a favor when you come in, because I'm using headphones, just let me know whether or not you could hear me. Just say, DML, we can hear you. Or give me the thumbs up. The thumbs up you just do anyway. Just say, yeah, DML, we can hear you. Just so this way I know that this thing is working. I'll wait. Hey, Dennis, nice to see you. All right, you can see me, but can you hear me? I'll wait for a comment to say, yes, we could hear you. We can hear you. Thank you, Lynette. All right, so a couple things we'll go over here today. I'm not going to take a very long walk-in talk. Actually, I'm not going to walk at all, if you don't mind. I'm going to sit here on the beach. So let's find a good spot where people aren't going to bother me and where I'm not going to bother them. All right, I think this works. All right, so I'll show you some stuff, I'll tell you some things. Oh, my goodness, getting old. All right, so anyway, we got to wait for 1,000 people. We're almost there. We'll get there. Lord knows Facebook doesn't like to give us the 1,000 people too quickly anymore. Yes, the things that happen when you're gone for a week, they add up. He's old. It's his birthday tonight. And so I am invited as a VIP to this big, huge extravaganza for this admiral who's 105 years old. There's going to be old generals there, la-di-da-di-da-di, and it's going to be spectacular as far as I'm concerned and from what's been delivered to me as the agenda for this evening. And that President Trump is flying in to give a speech and to say hello and to work the room and do what presidents do on those sort of events. And because I am in the EVIP, on the VIP list, odds are very high I will wind up getting my 2 minutes with the president. So I'll have to use it very, very effectively. So we'll see how that works. But that's why I'm still here, so I will not get back to New York until Sunday, to be honest. And so that's why I have been sort of out of touch. Now, that's what's going on there today. What am I doing in San Diego to begin with? Some of you may have watched the video I started making the other night from down here. I was showing you how it is that the Navy sort of surveils this area. And I had somebody approaching me. And when that somebody approached me, I just turned it off. I stopped it abruptly. And people say, I can't find the video anymore. You'll be able to find the video. It will wind up being, most of it will wind up being in They Come to America 4. My good buddy Mark on the other end. PAR is real hard to do. So we have come to the conclusion that the only way to get this right is to stop doing the app feeds for live walk and talks for at least a week until I get back, until we get it all settled out. And we'll just do Facebook Lives, then we'll download it, and then we'll put it to the app and to the website, la-di-da-di-da-di. So that's why you can't get it on the app. Number two, people saying, DML, the app's not working. I'm not getting my alerts anymore. It's not true. It is working, and it's working perfectly fine. The reason why you're not getting your alerts is because it's very simple. Yours truly made a decision. All the people who work with me and for me, they have access to pretty much everything. There's one thing I didn't give them access to, and that is my Twitter and my alert system. And the reason being is because I don't want anybody to inadvertently, mistakenly, abuse the alert system that gives you the text alerts. I don't want you to be getting 20 of them in a day. What are you going to do? You're going to turn me off. So I dictate when it is that we send out an alert or not. So you could rest on one thing. Is this DML sending out an alert? It's always me. I'm the only one who will do it. If there's alerts you don't like, blame me. If there's alerts you love, give me the credit. That said, if I'm in a courtroom or I'm traveling in a place that has no cellular service, like in the middle of a desert, if I'm down at the border, I can't send out Twitter alerts, and that's why you didn't get the alerts for the last. All right, so anyway, let me answer a couple of questions which I have received via email. Number one, we are not available on the app this morning. We are only available right here on Facebook Direct Live, although we will take the recording of this and put it on both the app and the website on DennisMichaelLynch.com. Why DML? All right, well, let me tell you why. First and foremost is because we have, this week, Harlan did anyway, invested in a whole new line of communication tools and products and softwares, you name it. So this way, we can simulcast to Facebook and to YouTube and to Twitter and to Instagram and to all these different places and to our app and to our website all at once without having to be subjected to Facebook's shortcomings, Facebook's dislikings, Facebook's whatever. Unfortunately, I've had it. I'm going to share it with you too. I've so had it with Facebook. I've come to the end of my rope. So we have bought all this stuff, and now it's time to connect it. So it's one of those things, our train never really stops. We always try to keep it going 24/7, and the walk and talks every day, and et cetera, and so forth. But changing tires on a moving